Okay, so Mohammed, let's talk a little bit about technology because I think it's really interesting. Because I didn't grow up, like we didn't have the internet until I was in high school. When I was like graduating from high school, where I imagine, your earliest memories of being a child involve like pretty complex technology. Like, is that fair?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't have a phone. I didn't grow up with technology as much as growing up with outdoor. Since I was a kid, my mom decided to teach me languages, and that was the only time technology has been amplified and extended in my life.
Hmm.
Because without technology, I can't really get to know the alphabet in English or in French or in Arabic because I used it for learning purposes.
Yeah, because also like with school, with the pandemic and everything, like there was a lot of online education, right? So you really, in a way, like the technology is a vital part of your development.
Exactly. It's 100%. It always could have been if it was invented earlier.
Hmm.
But thank God it was invented in our era because we get to explore it more than you guys do. But in my idea, like technology is a great way into development. It's just that you can't control an untamed animal. So technology is basically now an open book. You can write whatever you want, put any software, any application on it, viruses, diseases, whatever. It's basically become the new world.
Yeah.
Since in the world, if you put out a virus, a disease, people have to deal with it. You do as well. But if you know what to do and what not to do, you're okay. It's that the people that do tend to make things worse know how to stay away from it, and it's just become the
Hmm.
secondary world. There was Web 2 because that was Instagram.
Let's pause. Let's pause here, Mohammed, because you said something very interesting though, right? Because it's really about knowing that technology is a way to sort of guard yourself against all the sort of nefarious things that could come your way, right? Like sort of the evil that can come your way if you don't know the technology, right? But I will say, so this show is interesting because we have a lot of people who do not understand anything about crypto. They do not understand the metaverse. They do not understand Web3, which is fine. These are very smart people too, but they're sort of intimidated by the technology. But for your generation, you were raised on technology, right? So it's different, right? Like you seem to me like you're pretty comfortable learning new technologies. Is that correct?
100%. I feel like I actually like to learn about artificial intelligence, about IT, since I am an IT support specialist, a Google IT support specialist. I like to learn a lot about technology because in the future, most normal, average, low salary jobs may get replaced by robots. So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure maybe thousands of years later, if we're still alive, hopefully, we're going to have unemployed people and we're still going to have to give them a salary. So technology is frightening yet very useful at the same time. And if the robot invasion happens, at least I've got my cryptocurrency.
Well, look, if the robot invasion happens, I'm hiding behind you. I trust you more than myself, Mohammed. But okay, here's a question: blockchain. What do you think of it? What's like from your point of view? What do you think of the blockchain?
I mean, for the people that don't know, this is just an information that I've picked up the last year or so, the last 3 months actually. I've read about it, and Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudo name of the creator of the blockchain, created it to sell things online without being detected. That he wanted to say it just said sold from this IP address to this IP address. It didn't say the name, didn't say the person. Anyways, it was basically meant to do illegal purposes. But now we're using it to do great things. You see, people can ruin stuff, but also people can improve on stuff. The
Well, okay,
blockchain.
let me get in for a second. Okay, so but instead of people, like let's talk about people your age, right? Because I think it's very interesting. Are you guys using the blockchain? Like, are you actively like are you you know giving NFTs to each other? Do you transact with crypto?
There's different generations. Like
Mhm.
Alpha and Beta are going to grow up with NFTs, but my generation, Gen Z, most of the time they're focusing on Web 2 because that's what their parents and their older friends grew up with as well. So they're more inflicted on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook side. Uh, of course, there are millionaire kids from all around the world, Iran, America, making $4 million, $1 million on just selling their NFTs.
Mm. Yeah, and look, we're here not here to advocate NFTs and the financial. I just have to say that for our audience, but I think it's clear that you really know the technology, even being so young, which is fascinating. But we're going to have more with Mohammed when we get back to the break on the Daily Drop.